The weakness of the criminal justice sector cited as the greatest challenge to the government tackling drug trafficking here in the Bahamas. The conclusion of the U.S. State Department's 2019 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, which finds that while the average time between initial arraignment and trial in 2017 was within 90 days for minor offenses, for more serious matters like those involving trafficking, smuggling, firearms, or gang violence, regular adjournments prolonged cases, and in some instances for several years. U.S. officials determined that as a result, many accused choose to go to trial, confident the courts will take years to move their case through the system and the government will eventually drop the charges. The report acknowledges, though, that despite the challenges, the judiciary has begun making important improvements. Last year, the Magistrate Court, Supreme Court, and Court of Appeal introduced U.S.-provided digital audio recording equipment to record procedures. The improvement is expected to increase both the transparency and efficiency of the justice sector. Again, it was pointed out that while the Bahamas is not a significant drug-producing country, it remains a significant transshipment point for illicit drugs bound for the United States and other international markets due to its location. Well, police, meantime, have recovered a large quantity of drugs and a man has been arrested in connection with it. Acting on information, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit stopped a vehicle in the area of the Coral Harbor roundabout. A search of the car revealed 137 pounds of marijuana. That's an estimated street value of $137,000. The suspects expected to be formally charged before a magistrate court later this week. In other news this evening, a drive by the Water and Sewage Corporation's University Drive location found scores of its employees dressed for work but doing anything but. Instead, some were gathered under a tree playing a game of dominoes or sitting at tables chatting. At the root of the sit-out are claims of union busting by rolling back 4 major benefits: union administration leave, meeting place, rental space, and accrued vacation. Bahamas Utilities Services and Allied Workers Union President Dwayne Wood says what's adding insult to injury is that a union member was suspended for 5 days without pay for, quote, incorrect breach of discipline and an unwritten and unknown policy. According to Mr. Woods, the member parked his vehicle on WSC compound for a week due to a dead battery.
In the meeting with the general manager and his management team, in the absence of an HR professional, the union requested to see the policy that the corporation has said was breached, but it could not be produced. The union corrected the interpretation of the breach of discipline being used, as the union was the sole professional present at the meeting to explain the intent of the article during negotiation. However, the corporation, after consultation, advisement, and command of the executive chairman via telephone call, decided to be judge, jury, and executioner.
The union leader further alleges that the corporation continues to practice unfair and inconsistent promotional exercises.
These inconsistent levying of penalties of discipline to our members from the office of the executive chairman and the general manager without the experience and expertise of human resources. We demand that human resources be allowed to function without the interference of the office of the executive chairman and the general manager.
The union's calling on the Minister of Works, the Prime Minister, and all stakeholders to remove the executive chairman and the general manager post haste. That aside, it apologizes to the public for the inconvenience caused due to today's industrial action. While Labor Minister Dion Folks, meantime, encouraged WSC union executives, its board and management to come to the table and hash out a resolution.
None of them seem to be insurmountable. They all seem to be administrative issues. There's no major issues there that cannot be solved. So I'd like to encourage both sides to sit down and have a discussion. The supply of water, the access to water is very important for all Bahamians. So we'd like to see that service uninterrupted.
Weighing in in on the standoff. PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, meantime, expressed concern that the government has allowed this to happen, adding that the issues must be settled amicably in favor of the workers as soon as possible and in the public's interest. Mr. Mitchell suggesting Cabinet have a word with WSC Chairman Adrian Gibson and ask him to draw back forthwith or be dismissed. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.